Hi, I would love to talk about the fact that we all kind of don't feel connected. I see so many people around me seeking community and seeking a group to be a part of today. It is starting to become a very big trend that we are looking for connection, we're looking for community. And I've been in so many places where people have been looking for community and connection, but still there is something that seems to be missing. We are all going into situations looking for connection and looking for community, but the moment we show up, we don't show up as ourselves. And so the problem is that it's not us connecting, it is our made up bodyguard or armor of fear, as I would like to call it, that shows up and that tries to connect. And why do I think about all these things? Well, a while ago, I was sitting in meditation and I had a visualization of the things that I've been learning throughout these years. And what happened was that I was seeing my young self stuck in a room. I was locked into a room. Someone had locked me in, and I was sitting there so sad and scared and terrified, but also angry because she was not allowed to be out in the world and be herself. And when I started to zoom out from this room, what happened was that I realized that this room was actually just the heart of a big, big robot. And this robot was the person that I was pretending to be. And this person that I was pretending to be was only there to actually protect Sarah, protect the little Sarah that was locked into the heart. And this wasn't a meditation, sure. That might seem a little bit weird, but when I took this out of my meditation and started to really analyze what was this that I saw, what I realized in my own life was that when I was very, very small, when I was this little innocent girl, I was myself. And I was just doing all the amazing things that Sarah was doing. But when I met the world, at one point, someone thought, or people thought, or maybe it was society, I can't remember the moments when this was created, but someone thought that who I was not enough. I was not valued for who I was. I wasn't seen for who I was. And when this happened, I was so little, and the thing was that not being seen and valued and appreciated for who I was, it hurt so bad. It was the biggest pain I've ever had. So what happened was that every time this happened, I locked in a little part of myself into my heart, and I closed it with keys, and I made sure that no one else would ever get to make fun of or not see or not value or appreciate that part of myself. And so I went on through life and I started to build this bodyguard, this armor of fear, this bodyguard that would protect me from not being accepted, that would protect me from not being rejected. And what happened was that I built up quite a impressive robot that was walking around in the world like an AI, actually. Not with a lot of feelings, walking around pretending to be someone else so that I could be accepted in society. And what I've seen in my life is that I've been so angry with people because they haven't seen me for who I really am, because they haven't appreciated me for who I really am. I was so angry and frustrated and angry at the world for not letting me be either Swedish or Persian. I couldn't be something that felt normal. I had to always adjust and be someone else. And I was so angry because I was blaming the outside world, because when I was so little, I built up a belief that no one in this world will love me unconditionally 100% for who I really am. And so I just started to adjust. But when I was a grown-up, I was still working with this belief. I was living my life, choosing work, choosing partners, choosing clothes, choosing food from a belief that no one will ever love me for who I really am. And I never really questioned that belief because I didn't know it was there. But when I saw this meditation, I realized a very spooky thing, a very scary thing. And that is that until I was grown up, I've been angry at other people for not seeing me for who I really am. But the problem is, the fact is, that since I was little, since that little girl started to lock away parts of herself, I've never let any one of you guys out there, I've never let any one of you, no matter how good of a friend you've been to me, no matter how much I've loved you or you have loved me, I have never believed that you can love me for who I really am. And so I have never showed up as who I really am. And the problem is that I can't be angry at you for not loving me for who I really am, because I never even gave you a chance. I never even gave the world a chance to show me that my belief was not true. And when I started to see this, I started working on this. And the problem is that if I just tell you to, go out into the world and, let your armor down and just be yourself, the problem is that you're probably going to get super shocked, because everyone out there in the world is not ready to love you 100% for who you are. Because what it takes to love someone else unconditionally is for you to love yourself unconditionally. And sadly, unconditional love is not what we've been taught, because, as I said, since I'm 100% sure I'm not the only person who have these memories from when we were small, hiding away parts of yourself. I know you've done it. I know you do it every day. We do it less and less for every year once we start learning it, but I do believe that we all kind of do that. But I realized that it's so dangerous when we work with personal development that we tell people, just go out there and be who you are, and people will just love you. Because the problem is that you're going to get hurt again. You are going to realize that out of 10 people, maybe only one person is actually ready to love you for who you really are. And so the problem, I think, why we don't feel connected to other people is because we have locked parts of ourselves in here, into our hearts, and we have built up walls, as we usually talk about. People have walls up. And if you are not ready to let these walls down, no one else will ever be able to love you for who you really are. It's not going to happen. And so the problem is, in personal development, as I say, we tell people that you should go out and just be yourself. But the belief you have from when you were little is probably actually going to be confirmed by quite a lot of people. And so I just want you to know that maybe 1 out of 10 people will love you for who you really are. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be loved for who you really are. It just means that other people are not ready to love other people for who they really are. But I know there's a bunch of people who are absolutely ready to just embrace you for everything that you are. And you should go out and find those people. You just need to be able to handle the fact that you will probably be let down a couple of times. You will probably be disappointed a couple of times, and that's okay. So what do we do practically to really be able to connect with other people? And I have a very practical tool that is the best tool that I've ever used in my whole life. It's good for a lot of things, but especially for connection. And I think the problem when we're trying to make connection is that if you are actually being present enough, if you're feeling your body enough, you're going to be able to feel when your armor comes up. This armor of fear that you have. You have fear of being hurt. And this robot that I built up, for example, she starts functioning sometimes sometimes she starts functioning again, and she sets up boundaries and armor, and through this armor, no love can come out through the armor, and no love can come in. It's like a shield. There's no way to connect with me. But the cool thing is that if you're aware, you will be able to recognize the moment that that wall comes up. You're just gonna feel when the armor starts to come on, because your heart will start beating. You will start feeling fear. And when this happens, when the armor starts to come up, the walls are gonna start closing around your heart. And how you can feel that is that the muscles around your heart are gonna start clenching a little bit. And you can practice this. You can practice this, I promise. When you feel your hearty starts beating, it's probably because something is reminding you of something that happened in your past, and your armor is coming up to shield yourself from being hurt. When you feel the muscles tightening around your heart, and when you feel your heart starting to beat, when you start to feel the adrenaline coming out, what I want you to try this in your own life and see what happens. I want you to try to open your heart when this happens. And when you open your heart, I just want you to think about your heart. Just focus here, and you just imagine that you're opening up the heart. You're gonna feel a difference. If you do this before you're triggered, you're gonna be able to feel when it's closed and when it's open. You can try right now. Focus on your heart and you close it. You just imagine that you're closing it. What happens is that the muscles around your heart are gonna start to clench. And also what's gonna happen with your body is that you're gonna start to hunch over your heart to protect it. But if you open your heart instead, if you focus on your heart, you can even focus on breathing in and out through your heart. I usually imagine that my heart expands with air, and then it shrinks when the air comes out. And when you do this, what is so fucking cool is that you actually calm down the stress function in your body. The fear is not going to take over. You're in control. When you open up your heart, you're actually going to stop the walls from coming up. And when you stop the walls from coming up, you have a moment in time when you're actually able to connect with other people. So if you're dating, or you're talking to your boss, you're talking to your mom or dad, you're talking to your partner or your friends, and you're in a vulnerable situation where you actually need to connect and where you feel that you want to connect, if you feel that the walls are coming up, try to focus on your heart, breathe in and out through your heart, and open it up instead of closing it, and see what happens. Because in my world, I believe it's like this, and I've tried it so many times, so my experience is saying this, that when you let down your fear, let down your armor of fear, when you let down this robot that you build up, this bodyguard that you build up around you, when you let down all these protections that you build up, actually what happens is that emotion is going to be able to flow in and out through your heart. You're going to be able to actually love other people. Because what I can notice in a lot of people is that I can feel physically that there's a wall between me and that person. And I'm 100% sure that that's fear, because I have it myself. And I've heard other people saying that I have walls up. And I know that you also know what I'm talking about, where you can feel that someone physically has a wall up. For me, it feels like I can't send anything in. It doesn't go through. It doesn't matter how much I love that person. I love them with all my heart, but they are closing themselves off from connection. And I guess what I really want to say with this is that I realized in my life that I was actually not letting the world love me for who I am. I wasn't letting the world taking part of who I am and what I'm able to create, because I was too scared to be rejected. And I thought it was other people's fault. I thought it was the world's fault, but it wasn't. It was my actual choice to close down. It was also my choice to open up. And it was my choice to let other people have a chance to prove me that I was wrong about that no one could love me for who I really am. And I just really want you to try this. Like, try to open your heart, because for me, it's been the most essential thing. I did not meet a good partner for me until I could open my heart. And I hurt a lot of people by being closed down, and now I know how to open up and just see what happens for you. If in a time that you feel hurt and you feel that your guard is coming up, see what happens if you open your heart up, because I promise you that your relationships, even your work, your company, everything you're doing is going to be so much better when you stop. Actually, like, you destroy your life in so many ways when you have your walls up, because you keep just protecting yourself with your weapons. And when we're projecting things out on people, anger and frustration, irritation, to guard ourselves against being hurt, no one feels good from that. No one in your surroundings are going to be happy from that. Neither will you, because you will never feel loved. So yeah, let's take responsibility for being ourselves and showing up as ourselves in the world, because the world would be so amazing if everyone could stop trying to be the same person, because the world is so much more beautiful when it's filled with unique snowflakes, right? Instead of just one sort of snowflake that everyone's trying to be, because I'm so scared that people will not love me. Yeah, and it's hard. I've been there. Believe me, I've used all the excuses in the world to not show up as who I really am. So if you have an excuse, please write to me, because I can promise you that I've had the same. I've been hurt. I have depression. I can't concentrate. My brain is not functioning. My body is not functioning. It's not who I am. It's my personality. I've had all the excuses. So come to me, and we will see what we can do about it. But please just open up, and let other people love you, because we do love you a lot. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.